Hello guys, I'm going to be talking about harken today. So, and this is how, but also this is my opinion, please don't harass anyone. Anyways, let's get on to the harken part. First off, I'm going to be talking while I'm going to have this in the background because, well, it's kind of hard to actually get footage. I don't really have a lot of footage of me playing harken, so I'm sorry for that. But, I will explain what moves you can do. So, while also being... So, summon this guy. So, as you know, harken that one does 15 damage. It also gives sound. So, it takes 7 hits to kill a person. In rage, it takes 5 hits. Repress, also you get the noisiness. What is actually counters cloak, by the way, it counters cloak, because when they go invisible, you can basically, you'll be able to see like these little, white rings, right? And you'll be able to chase them down and actually like hit them and wait out the thing. You probably won't be able to hit them, but you'll be able to find where they are. What helps you a lot, or just use repress. Repress also can counter flashlight because it gives you that little part right there. What makes it so that it doesn't apply the effect, but it does get rid of the flashlight. Another thing you can do with agitation is in base form and light piercer form. You can do this with the combo, but you also can, if you also move your screen while doing this, you can move the agitation, which is really cool. Another thing is, if you're going to LMS but you don't have a lot of like rage, immediately spam this. Another thing about harken, if they're red and you hit them with pummel, you can't, so if you read this, it does more damage by doing 10 damage. It does 10 extra damage because it kicks them. Light Piercer also can be moved. It's a lot bigger and is really good for like just cornering off. Harken is a zoner though. Pummel, for most of the time, I see people just randomly using it. Please don't just randomly use pummel. Use pummel as a counter to other moves. Like, let's say this guy, or this dummy, uses like flashlight, misses punch, misses revolver, uses adrenaline, I'm able to chase him down, cloaks, and I hit him. You use pummel, and it's literally that easy. Now, I recommend don't just keep spamming Enrage, because you actually can easily die, because Harken is a glass cannon, by the way. So don't just keep willy-nilly using Immolate so you get more rage mode. Also, here's some ways to counter Harken. Please, first off, if you see her using her agitation starter, try to stay away from her thing, because then she can do 25 damage. She also can do this on Light Piercer, what does around 35 damage. If they don't run out immediately, they will take extra damage. Repress, there's not really a lot you can do about Repress though. Repress is kind of hard to counter. Anyway, so you see this guy now? Here, watch this. This is the animation for hitting the pummel when they're red. You kick them doing extra 10 damage. Though they'll probably die. They died before I can show it. Light Piercer can do 35 damage with this. So see how you move the thing. Immolate, another thing is, Immolate is very good, but it should be used in caution, because you can easily die with it if you're not careful using Harken. And that's pretty much all. Sadly, I was not really thinking. But now I'm going to talk, actually, I'll talk about Pursuer too, why not? Let's do that. Also, this was, for some reason, if you haven't seen it, this is what Harken's death looks like. As you see, I also have Mastery on Pursuer 2. Though, let me explain something. Pursuer, is, once you know how Pursuer works, I think most of you know, since you're looking for some answers to Harken. But Pursuer is a close-range killer that is very good with chase starting and killing, because he likes fresh meat. Also, random fun fact, Pursuer actually only eats 1 or 2 bites before he deems that the fresh meat is actually no longer fresh. How wasteful. Anyways, let's get on. Pursuer's M1 does 20 damage, so it's 5 hits. Cleave does 30 damage, because plus 20 damage plus bleed. What is really good for comboing or punishing. Howl is a good way to finish off chases, or or be able to stop looping, because it also is a loop stopper, and also like stop. So stock used to be just unshroud, but now you get. I recommend staying as stock as long as you can if you have a really long cooldown for lunge and chomp, because it makes it so they're scared. They don't know when to do it. And this is unshroud. Unshroud's not very good in scenarios unless you think they might have like ability that could stun you, but there's not really a lot of uses to unshroud unless you actually wait too long. Really. Now here's the 2 stock moves. First one, lunge. Lunge is the better of the 2 of the chomp, because it does a lot more damage, but it is hard to land and people can easily dodge it if you're not careful. Next, stock. On stock, sorry. Now, chomp is good for multiple people, and usually not going to be bunched up, but this does 10 damage and implies bleeding, what is okay, but it is worse, objectively worse than lunge. But it can technically be used as a chase starter, technically, because the faster wind-up time, you can still run after that. Well, and lunge forces you to do the cleave thing, or you have to wait for a bit. What isn't as good as chase starter? That's just one thing to think about when using stock. But personally, lunge is a lot better. You could also like just do this instead. I don't know why you would do that, but you can. Anyways, I don't really have any of the masteries, so I'm just gonna yap. Why not? Anyways, Pursuer's not gonna murder you. Pursuer's dead. Anyways, I'm gonna talk about how to counter Pursuer. Well, I actually do have footage. So, should I just talk over it? Yeah. So I'll see you in a little bit. Wait, is that? Oh hey, it's Pursuer. Why is he in a bunker? Oh. Hello guys. So how do you counter Harken? That's the thing. Well, first off, how do you counter Harken? Harken can be countered in not really that much ways. First off, the M1. Well, just try to dodge the M1. I think that there's anything else I can say. First off, the press is out of the question. You don't really dodge or press. That's one thing. Agitation. Now, one of the things tips is try to stay away from cornering yourself. Don't put yourself in tight hallways, and make sure you don't accidentally. And also be careful because Harken just actually move it, so it can sometimes hit you just randomly. That's the thing. But try to stay out of where Harken would be looking, or where you think Harken might do it, because she's a pretty good zoner. Now in Rage, there's not really much I can do about that. Not really much you can do about that, besides just trying to dodge. Really, sadly, all you can do is try to dodge. Not let her get to my meter, but that's basically impossible. She's always going to Rage, and Immolate is also one point. But if she uses Immolate 2 times, if you have a revolver, if you shoot her 2 times, you should be able to kill her. Just don't let her get too much hits, because she can heal a lot. Because she is a glass cannon. Now her Rage mode. How do we counter her in Rage? First off, and one of the things is that she's a pub stomper, but stronger than like most pub stompers. She can easily kill if the weakest links, and you do not want her to do that. Try to protect her teammates. That's literally very important, because if they die and she has extra time, she can easily kill anyone. And I mean easily. Now let's talk about in range. First off, pummel. First off, please stay away from. Don't try to miss your moves. Yeah, I know that sounds very simple and hard. Just try not to use flashlight near your Harken, but unless you're behind a wall. Try not to throw pie near yourself, because then she's just gonna pummel you. Try not to miss revolver, because if she has agitation, a light piercer also is a counter to most things. But I'll get into that in a little bit. Anyways, pummel is a pretty good move, but it only works when you actually are able to when you actually are like missing moves, because it's hard to hit when you don't have it. If she misses it, try to stay behind a wall so she doesn't get pulled, or just try to stay far away enough or behind an object where she can't pull. Now, light piercer. How do you get light piercer? First off, same thing as I say. Please do not stay near Harken, thinking that's a counter. Second off, try to stun Harken. It won't do any. You won't take any damage from. Try to stun Harken, or one of your teammates hopefully stun Harken. You won't. She can't actually do any damage to you. And also Light Piercer is hard to avoid. There's not really much I can say about Light Piercer because, well, there's not really much you can do against Light Piercer. Now, let's talk about Pursuer. Why not? Pursuer is really strong, but first off, Cleave. Cleave is easily countered by just if he hits or misses, you can always stun. That's one of the things. Now, Howl is not really much besides just running out of the way. Try not to get hit because then you'll be slowed down and you'll be an easy kill for that Pursuer. Unless they're new to the game. Not trying to be offensive, sorry. Now Pursuer also Stalk. Stalk can be immediately if you use Stalk, try to pie him. If he's pied, if he's stunned, try to pie him, try to stun him, try to stun him with punch or revolver, or try to pie him. Don't try to use flashlight because that won't work. And it will help you a lot. Now, another thing about the Pursuer LMS against flashlight and Pursuer is that they can't use Stalk. Remember, also we talked about the LMS, but he can't use Stalk in LMS with the Sight Breaker. So just try to activate Break Sight. If you disappear into the thing where he can't find you, you'll easily win. Don't worry. Now let's go back on track. Back on track. Geometry Dash reference. Anyways, well, I don't know what just happened to me. Anyways, what about Lunge? Lunge is really hard to avoid, but at the same time not. Well, that's because if you're playing against a good Pursuer main, they might be able to angle it where they hit you. That's the thing. Just be random. It's literally all you can really do. Against not much. Against holy double kill. Dang. Wait. Sorry. Don't mind the footage. Anyways, Pursuer's Lunge is hard to avoid at the same time as a game. Point. It's hard to avoid at the same time it's not because well you can easily hit it if he's a good player or not a good player, but that depends on everything else. Now think about Chomp. Chomp is a lot weaker. But, also, sorry. I'm being very excited because the video took yapping and stuff about my favorite game, Die of Death. But, Lunge also can be walked out of the way, but it's kind of hard to. Stunning is not an option. Revolver is not an option. Don't try to do it. You're at stunned. Oh, give me a second. Sorry, my brother just entered the room and now he's about to beat me up. Hopefully not. Anyways, also that's a joke, YouTube. Please don't. Anyways, Chomp is not really not the best move. So you won't be seeing Pursuer a lot, but try to stay out of groups because that's where he'll do the most damage with Chomp. There's not really much I can else say besides just walk out of it. Chomp is not really the best move in consideration. It is really just good for the people who aren't ready because it also is a good chase starter. So try not to be low on stamina when you know Pursuer. Try not to be low on stamina when Pursuer does his stalk, or try to move around when he stalks because then it's harder for him to hit moves. Next thing is, that's pretty obvious. If he uses Unshroud, why would he use Unshroud? I don't know, but like if he uses Unshroud, it's stun or stun. High, flashlight, use every single other ability besides Bugle, Caretaker, Care Pad, and every other and most supports. Besides Taunt, don't use Taunt, please. I mean, actually, you could use Taunt, but please don't use Taunt unless you actually know you actually have stamina, or else you're dead. There's more times than I count as Harken that someone taunts and they run out of stamina, or they get caught up to because they didn't run fast enough, and yeah, they die.